Huh. Oh, hey, how you doing? So you remember that time in 2006 when Nintendo actually listened to their fans instead of ignoring them and just shutting down all the fan projects? Me too. It was a crazy time, and guess what? We can still enjoy that time. Bam! The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. This was a time when Nintendo actually listened to their fans. Let's have a look at it, shall we? The year is 2004. It is E3 2004, Nintendo is presenting what they have, and Nintendo fans get exactly what they want. Back when Wind Waker was revealed, fans were not happy because it looked too childish. They wanted a true successor to Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. But now, Nintendo shows these realistic graphics. Link comes into frame riding Epona. It happened. Nintendo listened to their fans. They took the criticism and used it to make what the fans wanted. On November 19th, 2006, the game launched for Nintendo's new home console, the Nintendo Wii. A month later, on December 2nd, the game launched for the GameCube. This game sold incredibly well, was an amazing launch title for the Wii, and was the best-selling Zelda game until Breath of the Wild. In 2016, this game got an HD remaster for the Wii U, giving it 1080p resolution and higher quality textures, making it the definitive version. How the fuck did this thing come into existence? Well, let's take a deep dive into it and figure out, shall we? You see, Nintendo was working on a sequel to The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, but after seeing the sales of the original, Eiji Aonuma went up to Shigeru Miyamoto and said, "No, cartoon bad. American sales, no cartoon." So the devs gave the game a realistic art style, horseback combat, and made the game more mature overall. Partway into development, the team decided that the Wii would be a good fit for the game. Why? Because Bowlayman, yeah! That delayed the game by a fucking year, but who cares, we could play this game on the Wii without backwards compatibility. Did the fans enjoy this game? Why the hell was the Wii version rated 1 point lower? What, is it really that bad to do this over this? You all are just lazy as hell, it isn't that hard to do! You know what? Fuck you. I'm playing the Wii version because I'm just so angry that people just mistreat it as if it's a garbage pile of shit. Also, because I don't have $50 to spend on the HD version or an excruciating amount of money for the GameCube version. Why is it so expensive? Please tell me. Something I should note before we go on with the actual game. You see, I do this thing called speedruns on Twitch, and I just had said that I would be learning TP 100%. So you know what that means? I use glitches throughout my playthrough, the 8th sin. Don't worry, I still did literally everything because Twilight Princess and glitches go together like cuts and hand sanitizer. They don't, and it hurts that they don't. Anyway, with that, on to the actual game. This is The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. The game starts with this guy talking to Link and he's all like, "Hey man, I got some chores, can you do them for me? I don't feel like doing them, okay thanks." You then talk to this girl named Hylia and get your horse, who I named, well, Horse. As you can see, I am very creative with names. You go to the ranch in Ordon village and do a chore, herding goats, easy. Day 2, wake up and feel the dread of the chores way in. Leave home and talk with this guy who teaches about how you can talk and target. You then need to go over here, get bird, rob a monkey because fuck monkeys. I gave it to this person and they gave me a fishing rod. Well, looks like I'm having fish for dinner tonight. What the fuck? I told this person that their cat stole my dinner, so they repaid me by giving me a bottle of milk. Thanks! I also bought a slingshot and the kids wanted me to show them how to use it as well as how to use a sword. Well fuck those guys, I'll do what I want with my shit. I'm going to the forest so they don't pester me. I spoke with this guy and he gave me a lantern for free. Thanks man, I'll never talk to you again, but cool. These guys kept trying to kill me, that's not very nice. Oh, looks like some of them kidnapped the kid and the monkey. How the hell did they get here? What the fuck? Look at these idiots, breaking open their own cage. Heh, well losers. Anyway, the kid is free. This guy tells me that I'm pretty cool and now it's another day. More goats. Hooray! I think it's scolded because Horse has a minor injury. After breaking into the spring, you get told the injury isn't that bad and then these guys come in and kidnap children and just leave me here. How convenient. This hand pulls me into the wall and what the fuck? So I am now a wolf now. What? I can't believe Link is canonically a furry. Anyway, this character named Midna shows up to the cell you're trapped in. She said that she is willing to let you out, but only if you do what she says. Now you learn what you can do as a good little doggy. You could bite, you could sense, you could jump. Why can't Human Link do this? Because fuck you, that would be weird. You climb to the top of the place you are and find that you are in Hyrule Castle. Damn, that fast? You reach the end and meet Princess Zelda. Again, that was fast to do. She talks about a man named Zed who did all-out attack on the castle and forced Zelda to surrender, plunging the land into Twilight. All the people became nothing but spirits. You then leave and Midna again bribes you about how she will help you if you do what she says. Cool. You go back to Ordon and hear from a squirrel that the children have all been taken to Kakariko village. You also overhear some information about a shield. Scare this guy? Shield! You then break into this house and get a weapon, the Ordon sword, which you were supposed to deliver to Hyrule Castle. You can then enter the Twilight and continue on your way to save the kids. Before you can, you get interrupted and have to kill this thing. You then get told, oh, hey man, our friend Farron is in trouble, please help him. And you can continue to Farron. This beginning section is excruciatingly long. It took me forever to be able to do it. But the thing is, nothing goes on. This beginning section is just very long, and it's all just a very long tutorial. I wouldn't be surprised if people had stopped playing because of it. In fact, I nearly did when I first played. I only continued because I thought, might as well. But if the game continues being like this, I'm not playing it. I'm not playing any Zelda game ever again. And, well, would you look at that? It started my love of the Zelda series and became one of my favorite games ever. Funny how that happens. Welcome to the Farron Twilight. Things looking a bit different than before. You walk forward and 3 of these guys come down. You can't kill them, one always lives just to break your eardrums. You then learn the Midna's charge attack. By using that, you can kill all the enemies at once, easy and useful. You then find the Guardian Spear and they're like, oi mate, please kill some bugs. That'll heal me. You then get the Vessel of Light, the tool to assemble the bugs together. By killing bugs all over the area, you collect tears. Once you collect all the tears, you save the place and the color of yellow gets kicked out. Oh yeah, there's a portal here as well, and I don't think I shouldn't be here. Yeah, definitely not now. Once you clear the Twilight, you get some nice clothes and told that you are the hero. Well, no fucking shit, game! After that, you go up here and, is this guy supposed to be here? He's gonna bite my ass in 2 seconds. He attacked me, what the fuck? This guy, whose name is Mr. Totally Not Hero of Time, shows up and he's like, hey mate, you gotta know the sick trick. Stab people in the dick when they are down. Instant kill. You then learn the ending blow, which is just a giant stab to the dick. You can then enter the first dungeon. Finally, the Forest Temple. The Forest Temple is the first dungeon of this game. And my god, it is a big one for the first dungeon. The main gimmick are these monkeys. You have to free them because they always just get trapped everywhere. Because monkeys are competent little pieces of shit. Once you free the first monkey, you go over here and this big monkey uses a boomerang to break the bridge. Well, fuck you too. Once you free about 4 monkeys, you get to this place where you can fight that big monkey who broke the bridge. His name is Ook, and it's a very, very simple fight, especially considering it's the first fight of the game that's not a regular enemy. It's very simple to do. All you have to do is roll into these poles once he stops moving, and then just slap his ass with your sword. By doing that, you get the Gale Boomerang. The boomerang is a very fun item. You can summon the power of winds, and this item is broken in all versions except for the Wii version. I'm starting to think maybe playing the Wii version wasn't a smart idea. The main boss of the dungeon is Diababa, or Diababa. It's this guy. This fucking guy right here. It's pretty simple. All you have to do is just beat up the heads with bombs. That's pretty easy and... Huh? What is that? Why is this boss design so freaky? Why are the boss designs in this game just so freaky? Like, look at this. Diababa? Morpheal? Armagoma? What the fuck? During this fight, you realize you don't have bombs. Well, shit. Then Ook comes in, it's like, hey man, I know you slapped my ass with your sword, but you know what, I'm gonna help you, because I'm actually kinda nice. He brings down the bombs and you use that to launch at Diababa's head and... Oh yeah. I love when you get to the point of the fight where this music kicks in. It just gets you so pumped to be just beating them over and over and over. just doing as much damage as you can to be able to beat the boss. Once you do beat the boss, you get the first Fused Shadow, an item which has magical powers that you can't use, only Midna uses. Once you leave, you're able to run over here, and Hyrule Field. This place is big. Really, really fucking big. There's also a mailman here. He sometimes pops up in different spots, and he's like, "Hey, I got mail for you. Please, let me give you the mail." Okay, cool, bye. You can then enter the Elden Twilight right here. It's pretty much the same as the Faron Twilight, except this time, you're an Elden. I know, right? What a shocking revelation. You find these shadow beasts, you kill them, and... well, how the fuck are we supposed to progress? Don't worry, you can warp over here to North Faron and get this bridge. And by using that, you can go into Kakariko Village. By going to Kakariko Village, you got another portal that you gotta summon, oh boy. And then you got the Elden Spirit here. You talk with him and he's like, "Hey, mate, you helped Faron, and you helped Ordon. Can you help me? Okay, cool, bye." Here's the light vessel thing. This section is literally the same, except the bugs are in the different spots around Kakariko Village and Death Mountain Trail. If you go into this house, you can use your senses to see the kids who are fearing for their lives because they could be eaten by those shadow beasts because they're like 2 feet tall. The shadow beasts can easily consume them. Other than that, it's just regular Twilight. Alright, done. You can then go up to Death Mountain Trail and... oh hey, it's Goron! How you doing, man? What the fuck are you doing? Why are you charging at me? I'm out of here already. You then get told, mate, if you want to go up to Death Mountain Trail, you gotta get the iron boots. They're over at Bo's place. Try to go to Bo's place, but... oh. Horse! Horse, what the hell are you doing? What the hell are you doing here, horse? Alright, we can tame horse now. Just simply hold directions. Woo. Alright, I am the greatest at horse taming. You could go over and talk with Bo and Ordon, and then he tells you, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna wrestle you in my basement. Have fun." You beat him twice, and he's like, "Alright, you're pretty good, I'll give you the iron boots." You could go back to Kakariko Village now, where this guy named King Boblin kidnaps this guy.
Can't just kidnap kids, that's illegal. I know from experience. It's not allowed by the cops.
Alright, King Boblin. So you go over to the field here and you just challenge him. You have to chase him around the field and just slash him as you get near enough to do that. After that, you go on a 1v1 showdown on the bridge. You just have to go next to him and then just attack him while you can. Pretty neat fight. You can then scale Death Mountain using the iron boots to wrestle the Gorons. Or not. Then you need to wrestle this guy to enter the Goron Mines. Or not. Welcome to the Goron Mines, the second dungeon of the game. There is lava everywhere in this dungeon. The main gimmick of this dungeon being the key pieces. They're very simple to understand. You see, there are these Goron elders that you need to save. If you go up to them, they give you a key piece. Pretty simple. Now, not all of it is lava. There are some parts where you're outside, and I don't see any lava around here. And there are some water sections, which I find pretty interesting.
Ah, I see they have the 4 main elements: fire, water, earth, and air. Can't wait for the Fire Nation to attack.
Another big gimmick of the dungeon is the magnetic walls and ceilings. The magnetic walls and ceilings are interesting because using your iron boots, you could connect to them and walk along the walls or the ceilings, or you could just do this and cheat it all.
I love the Wii version of this game.
Yeah, I like doing this. It's much faster. The mini-boss of the dungeon is Dangoro. It's pretty simple wrestling. You just gotta slash him in the stomach and then throw him into lava. After that, he's like, "Hey man, why'd you do that? Oh, you wanted the bow. Okay, here's the bow." Obviously, you know what the bow does. You shoot arrows.
I know, right? What a revolution!
Something interesting about the bow this time around is that there is not any fire, ice, and while they're technically light arrows, I'll get to that at the end. The main boss is Virus. Virus, you just hit the crystal thing on his head, then you pull the chain using the iron boots to make him trip over. Then, you can attack the crystal thing even more, and after doing it a few times, boom, dead. You get the next Fused Shadow piece, and you could continue. Now that we have 2 areas done, we got the Lanera region, which is also in Twilight. The game intends for you to go to Castle Town and do its things with cutscenes and shit there. I lost interest and I realized the gates are weird. I'll go over quickly some highlights of the stuff that I did skip. There's the Bridge of Eldon, which gets a part of it taken away and you fight these guys. Oh god. And now you got a portal. You also have to jump off a bridge into Lake Hylia. Neat. Lake Hylia is completely empty. There is nothing here except for like a small pool of water. Talk with this guy named Fire, and then you notice, oh, there's a monster over there, let me kill him. He gets on a Kargarok and you just kill him. You know, pretty simple. You then go through a flight using the Kargarok. You control the Kargarok and you go enter the Zora's domain. You can climb the domain, which is for some reason frozen. I don't know what the hell the Twilight section does to the Lanayru region that makes it frozen, considering that the other areas aren't affected except for this like shadowy thing. Once you get to the top, you realize, maybe we can unfreeze this. Go to Death Mountain, take this giant rock, and just drop it there. Easy. You then got Queen Rutella here, who will tell you, hey, my son, he's kinda dying. You mind helping him? You then jump in the water and then get taken by current back over to Lake Hylia, right in front of where the spirit is. You get the light vessel, you got a standard Twilight section, you know, nothing interesting. However, there is a Castle Town portal that you get along the way, and you get some bugs on the Kargarok. The most interesting part of this section, though, is the boss bug, being the last bug you have to collect in the entire game. It's a pretty simple fight. Once he comes charging down at you and stops being electrified, just jump onto him and attack as much as you can. Then attack all his legs. Once that's done, and you win. You then got this strange cutscene, which I have no clue what the fuck it's trying to tell me. Considering that Hylia is a person that Link can trust, and Hylia tries to stab Link, is it supposed to say, don't trust people? Is it supposed to be a metaphor for something else I don't fucking understand? It does tell about the origins of the fused shadow, and if that's the entire point, why is Hylia trying to stab Link in the back?
Am I looking too deep into this? Probably.
I also got this funny Wolf-Link model because I was in the wrong form during this cutscene. That's pretty neat. The next dungeon is Lakebed Temple, but we still need to do a few things to enter the dungeon. To be able to enter the dungeon, you have to go over to Castle Town, go to Telma's bar. Hylia doesn't know who the fuck you are for some reason, because her memory is erased or something. That's like what the game says, but that seems kind of stupid. You then need to escort Prince Rallis over to Kakariko Village, where someone can actually have a look at him and figure out what's wrong. Along the way, there's another fight with King Boblin. There is? I don't know, I didn't fight it. You then got these archers who are trying to light the wagon on fire, which would not be good, so luckily you could put out with your Gale Boomerang. There's also the Kargaroks who drop bombs on the pass of the wagon to throw it off pass. Luckily you can use your boomerang to get rid of these guys as well.
I don't think throwing a boomerang at a bomb would make it better for us.
Once you do, Queen Rutella leads you to the back of the Kakariko graveyard and you can get the Zora armor, allowing you to swim underwater and breathe underwater, which is very, very convenient, even though it's not required to beat the game. Cool. You can then use that to enter the dungeon. Lakebed is the Water Temple 3. Why, Nintendo, do you always put a water temple in every Zelda game? And the game that you didn't do it for, the entire game is just flooded. What is with water in Zelda games? No one likes them, I don't think. At least I don't think anyone likes them. Right? Am I the only one who doesn't really enjoy these things? You got this giant room with stairs, and you can also go into like 8 different rooms. Neat. The main gimmick is water wheels. I think you have to like make these things go or something, but you know, I just kind of skipped it because I don't like water dungeons. The mini boss of the dungeon is Dekuto. You cannot fucking tell me with a straight face that is a Deku. The fight is very simple. You just attack these guys. When he drops down from the roof, you just slash his tongue. The main item of the dungeon is the claw shot. Oh, yes! The claw shot is very cool. It's a lot like the hook shot in many ways, except it doesn't grab onto wood. Instead, it can grab onto vines, chains, and I just love this item. The main boss is Morpheal. Alright, it's pretty simple. You just grab the eye out of these tentacle things and just attack. Alright, what's the problem here? Oh.
boy. That guy is, pretty big. It's scary.
Does Nintendo try to make a horror game or something?
Luckily, the fight isn't hard. All you have to do is just claw shot the eye, attack, re-claw shot, attack, re-claw shot, attack. Pretty simple. You could get this done in like 30 seconds. You get the last piece shadow, Midna gets destroyed by Zant. Wait, what?
That could probably be the title of someone's fanfiction. Midna gets destroyed by Zant.
Now you have to rush to Castletown to get to Zelda. Rush to Castletown, get kicked out of the bar because, you know, Link isn't 21 in this game. You then get told by a cat, "Psst, hey, there's a roof passage that you could use to get in, and you could get a few beers." By following the path, you don't get any beers, but you also get those Poe. This guy is Giovanni, and he's like, "Hey, if you get all the Poes, I might be healed. Can you please do that? Okay, thanks, bye. Here's the way to the castle sewers." After going through the castle sewers, you can get Midna saved by Zelda. And Zelda just fucking die. You then get to go to the Sacred Grove using Midna's ability to just go somewhere and you just target and jump. You then got the chase against Skull Kid. You just have to find him and attack. Pretty simple. You then got the Skull Kid fight. It's kind of lame. You just wait for him to blow his horn and then attack. Just do that 3 times and you win. Then you got the statue puzzle. This puzzle sucks. I don't think a single person likes this puzzle. It's annoying, it's stupid, it's dumb. Let's just get the Master Sword and leave. You get this cool cutscene and the game's like, "Ooh, the Master Sword chose you as a hero, blah blah blah." You then get the ability to transform between human and wolf at any point, which also means you can warp at any point. Yeah! Why did it have to wait till like halfway through the game though? You could have so easily just given us the ability to do this since the beginning. Anyway, you gotta go over to Lake Hylia, talk to this guy, and he's like, you're going to the desert. Here is a memo. Give it to this guy. You give it to Fire, enter the Gerudo Desert, and you get this cutscene about how the Twilight banished people from Hyrule. But then this one power-hungry guy named Zant took control and destroyed Midna.
Again, could use this for a fanfic.
Midna had to flee to be able to get help. The cutscene also goes over the Mirror of Twilight, a mirror which leads you to the Twilight Realm. Anyway, with that over, let's go to the Gerudo Desert. The Gerudo Desert is massive, with fuck all in it.
Alright, let's check to make sure we have everything. Desert, check. Gerudo. Oh.
I mean, you can rob these Boblins of their boars. And then you got the Boblin Camp, that's all there is, really. The Boblin Camp is a neat place. There's nothing. You then got another fight against King Boblin 3. Very simple, just like slash him and then slash him a bunch more, get out of the way when he swings his thing. He then decides to burn down the place because fuck you. You can use the boar to escape, and then you can enter the Arbiters Grounds. The Arbiters Grounds is my favorite dungeon in this game. Why?
Because I love seeing people being tortured.
Because it's just so freaky, and the main gimmick is the pose. So you remember in Ocarina of Time where you had to kill the 4 Poes to be able to go to the end of the dungeon? Yeah, well you have to do that again, except this time it's only for half the dungeon. You go over to these places, you kill Poes, interesting, and these Poes, they're pretty freaky.
Jeez, Nintendo, at this point just make a horror game.
In fact, this entire place is designed to be freaky. It is a place designed as a prison for the worst of the worst in Hyrule, which is just so cool. It was meant to torture them and, you know, make their lives miserable. And I just find that so fascinating that Nintendo put that into a video game. Nintendo. The mini-boss is Death Sword. You attack this guy as a wolf a few times, pretty simple. Then you can use your claw shot to bring him down to the ground, and then just slash his head a bunch until he's dead. Neat mini-boss. The item is the Beyblade, or the spinner, as the game calls it. Well, that's no fun, I'm calling it the Beyblade. By using a Beyblade, you can attach to the walls of certain parts, and you can use that to spin up, like a Beyblade. The main boss is Stallard. Stallard is a pretty simple fight. You just go around this big circle, you attack his spine, because, you know, that would hurt. Oh, there's a second phase. It actually is a very nice second phase. All you have to do is just climb up, avoid the fireballs, and attack his head, and then attack the sword stuck in his head. Simple, you win. Hooray! You can then leave the Arbiters Grounds and find the Mirror of Twilight, which must be raised. Before you can raise it, you got all these guys who you must kill, then get a portal, simple. You can then raise the mirror and find, ah shit, it's broken. The sages then come out and say, Ganondorf, he exists, he's a threat. We tried to kill him, but we just ended up having to banish him to the Twilight Realm, that's all that happened. The shards are in Snow Peak, they're in the fucking grove that you were at before, and they're in the heavens, or City in the Sky. Alright, have fun!
If you guys are magical beings and know where the shards are, why can't you guys get them?
You can then go to Snow Peak and get a sketch from this girl named Ashe, or she, I don't fucking know, and honestly, I do not care. You could go over to Rallis in the Kakariko Graveyard, and he was like, that sketch has a reek fish being held by a monster. Here's how you catch the reek fish. Here's an upgrade to your fishing rod. You then catch a reek fish optionally, get it sent optionally, climb the mountain. By climbing the mountain, you get to the top where there is a cave. By entering that cave, it's pretty simple, just climb your way to the top, and then you got another portal. Cool.
You get it? Cool, as in cold, and we're on a cold mountain? Aren't I so funny? Aren't I? Please tell me I'm funny.
You then find this guy whose name is Yeto, the big monster that's been talking about. He's actually a pretty chill guy. He's just like, oh, you want the Mirror of Twilight shard? Oh, I got this at my house. Come on, let's go. You can then snowboard down, which I just want to say, I find this fun. Snowboarding is just fun to do. It's nice to be able to just get as much airtime as you can. Go down the path, it's nice. You can then enter the Snow Peak Mansion. The Snow Peak Mansion! It's a cool concept. You got this ginormous house that you just gotta explore and do everything. You speak to Yeto over here, who is the wife of Yeto, and you get the map. The map is pretty simple, you know, just a dungeon map, like every other dungeon. The main gimmick is getting fruit and veggies. Gotcha! You see, that is the gimmick, but it's pretty easy to just not do that. The mini-boss is Darkhammer. He's pretty simple, he just swings around his ball and chain, just get behind him, then when he throws his ball and chain, you just attack his tail. Easy. And then you get to steal his ball and chain. Oh boy! After going through a few rooms, you can get to the bedroom key, which then allows you to access, well, the bedroom. Then got the boss, being Yetta, who becomes Blizzetta. Huh. It's pretty simple, just throw your ball and chain at her a few times. And then phase 2 is basically the same, except it's protection.
I don't see a condom, though.
You then get this romantic cutscene where they're like, yes, I love you, blah blah blah. Okay, here's the heart container. You take the mirror shard and get out.
I wish someone would look me in the eyes and just say, who need mirror?
After that, you need to go to the Sacred Grove. You can use this chicken from this guy to be able to get there.
Can I eat it, though?
You then find the Skull Kid again. Oh, god damn it. You just have to fight him again. You know, pretty simple. Then you just thrust the Master Sword into the pedestal. And then you can enter the Temple of Time. Thrust your sword into the pedestal again, and you find Uku. But yeah, I forgot to talk about Uku, I just realized. Anyway, Uku is basically the Four Eyes Wind of the game. In each dungeon, you can find an Uku who you can call, and that'll allow you to leave the dungeon and get back to where you were at any point. Neat. You find Uku who's like, yes, it's the Temple of Time. Let's enter.
Ocarina of Time called. They want more Ocarina of Time in this Ocarina of Time sequel.
The Temple of Time, OOT? Oh boy! The main gimmick here is pretty simple. This statue, you gotta bring him home. There are enemies everywhere, and the statue's concept is just so neat, being able to control them. But how do you control them? Well, it's simple. First, you have to fight this mini-boss being a Dark Nut. Pretty simple, you just like get behind him and start slashing a bunch. He's actually a very tough opponent, so don't expect him to go down too easily. The main item is the Dominion Rod, which you use to control those statues and bring that one big statue home. The main boss is Armagoma. Jeez, another iteration of Goma? Wow. Come on, Nintendo. This one's freaky though, I gotta admit. Still very simple, you just shoot the eye and then slam your fist down, BAM! Right into Armagoma. Just do that a few times and you win. Oh, god damn it. So you don't win. You got to start an eyeball just crawling around. done.
What is with Nintendo and eyeballs being the weak spot in Zelda? Can't they have a little more originality? Maybe the nose is the weak spot, or the tongue, the dick, I don't fucking know.
Our next goal is to enter the city in the sky. You talk with Uku upon leaving and she's like, "Oh, you don't have magic to use the Dominion Rod. You see, you're in the past, fuck you." You then get Renata's letter, which says, yes, seems like Hylia here has amnesia. You give the letter to Telma, and she gives you the invoice. You go to the doctor and give him the invoice, and you get the medicine sent using Wolf. By using that, you could find Telma's cat outside of the bar. He's like, doesn't Hylia have a statue? Yeah, I stole it. But, you see, these guys came and stole it from me. You leave to the south and get the statue from these guys just by killing them.
You know, you could get anything if you kill the person who has it.
By giving the statue to Hylia, she remembers, oh, there's this hidden village. That person there is in trouble. They need help. Please go help them.
Classic Nintendo, the damsel in distress. I think it's illegal for a Nintendo game to not have this.
You then find the hidden village with the help of Goron and... oh yeah. This place is very simple. There's 20 boblins. Just take out your bow and fucking shoot them. Like it's a cowboy movie or something. It's just so neat that you get to do that. I love it. You then get to speak with Impa. Yeah, it's not Impa, it's Impas. Or Impas, or don't fucking know anymore. You get Hylia's charm from her, and she's like, please give this to the girl. You can then give the charm to Hylia and get the horse call. By using it, you can call upon it anywhere. Great. Very useful this far in the adventure. You can then go back to her and show her the Dominion Rod, and she gives you the Sky Book. By showing the Sky Book to this guy, you utter some magic words in an attempt to move a certain statue. That doesn't do anything, all it does is just power up your rod. Lame.
Power up rod sounds like an innuendo.
You then need to collect characters into the Sky Book from all across Hyrule. Now I'll just break in myself. You then can warp the cannon to Lake Hylia and get it repaired by this guy, Fire. For just 300 rupees, you can get it repaired, you can enter it, and enter the city in the sky. So this is what Skyloft looks like now.
We'll get to this one in about a month.
You get told that there's more Ukus here, called the Ukas. Great. You then see the Ukas, and they're like, oh yeah, you see that dragon up there? Yeah, that's a big problem. Can you get it solved? Thanks. The main gimmick of this dungeon is the fans and wind. So it's just like Wind Temple 2 or something.
At least it isn't Water Temple 4.
By abusing the wind and the floating abilities of the Ukas, you can just traverse the dungeon, which I think is really, really fun. This is my second favorite dungeon in the game. The mini boss is Air All Foes. It's a very simple fight, just claw shot it down and then slash. The item of the dungeon is a claw shot? Didn't we already have a claw shot? Well, I guess we got two now. Sure. By using this, you could use claw shots multiple times.
It's better. In every way.
The main boss is Argarok. It's very simple, just wait for Argarok to come over here, and then you could claw shot the tail and use the iron boots to pull it down.
I feel like at this point, the fight is very simple could be my catchphrase.
Once you do that twice, you see the eye is revealed, and Argarok just decides to shed all armor, because, you know, that is what you do. Oh, I lost pieces of armor, let me just shed all my armor, you know, fuck me. You could then use the P-hats at the top to be able to spin around and try to get behind Argarok, in which you could claw shot the eye and just attack, in a similar way to Morpheal back in the Lakebed Temple. Once you do that 3 times, you get the final piece of the mirror. By going back to the Mirror of Twilight, the sages reveal that Midna is the Twilight Princess.
Well, number 1 rolled credits, and number 2, I was kind of expecting that.
You then get this cutscene where Midna is like, oh yeah, Zant attacked me and now I'm trapped in this form. It's sad, can we please go and kill him now? You then enter the portal and welcome to the Palace of Twilight. The Twilight people here are shapeshifted because, you know, Zant just be evil. The main gimmick here is the souls. At the end of both the East and West branch, there is a soul that you have to bring back to the beginning. Along your way, you will find that there are Zant heads, these new enemies that are kind of freaky, but they're pretty simple. You just attack a bunch. They can teleport though, so that's annoying. To be able to get each of the souls, you have to fight a mini-boss, being Phantom Zant. It's very simple. He teleports somewhere and you just gotta find where he is and attack. He'll also use his magic abilities to try and send out more enemies. They're pretty easy to deal with though. Once you put both of the souls back where they should be, you get the powered up Master Sword.
The sword's made of butter!
You then, at the very end, get to fight Zant. And this arena is perfect for the fight. Oh, what? Huh? What? Okay, now you're just trolling. What? Oh! Yeah, the main gimmick of the fight. You get taken to all these different places. Diababa, Dangoro, Morpheal, Ook, Lizetta, and then this brand new unique phase. For the first 5 phases, it's very simple. You just have to mimic what you did with the other fights. It's just so cool. I love it. It's kind of like a mini boss rush in just one fight. It's cool. It's fun. I love it. The final phase is just a simple one-on-one sword fight where Zant goes fucking insane and just slashes all over the place and spins around in circles. Once you beat him, he talks about how he's like, oh, Ganondorf will just revive me. It'll be fine. So you won't get your powers back, Midna, sorry. Oh, that's gonna hurt, Midna. Midna then destroys Zant by making him explode. Jesus.
I hate when I explode. My second incarnation died to that in the war.
You can then leave and go to Hyrule Castle, where Midna uses the Fused Shadows to destroy the barrier and access Hyrule Castle, the final area of the game. The main gimmick of this place is enemy gauntlets.
Now you might be saying, wait a minute, main gimmick, isn't that for dungeons? And to that I say, Hyrule Castle is a dungeon. Ain't that cool?
You got a dungeon map and a compass. I mean, I didn't collect them, but I feel like that should be proof enough. You also got a boss key, so you can add that on. And a final boss at the end. So boom, dungeon. You also got this fight against King Bublin 4. It's literally just the same as the third fight. Lame. You can enter the main castle and fight a Dark Nut right here. It's very simple, it's literally just the same as the one in the Temple of Time. Again, lame. You then gotta fight against an Aerolphos. Literally the same, except with less health. You then go ahead and try to get the boss key, but then these enemies start attacking you, but then you could help in the form of these guys. Hey, what the fuck did you get the rocket launcher? That could have been useful. I also love the usage of items like the double claw shots and spinner right before the final boss. That's very cool. Yeah, and then find Ganondorf at the top, who's like, oh yeah, the Twilight. Fuck him. Ganondorf throws a bit of racism at Twilight and then takes over Zelda.
Oh man, Ganondorf is gonna get cancelled on Twitter.
You then got the Puppet Zelda fight, which is my favorite thing. RNG. The fight is very simple. You just wait for the electric ball attacks and then just launch it back at Zelda, kind of in a similar way to Ganondorf and OOD, or Phantom Ganon in the Wind Waker. You then free Zelda, hooray! And oh, god damn it. Ganon takes on the power that he has and becomes Dark Beast Ganon. Again, fight is simple, just shoot him in the head when you can and then attack his belly. Sometimes he comes out of portals. Sure. Again, just shoot him in the head and then attack his belly. At some point, you won't be able to shoot Ganon anymore. So what do you have to do? Go into your wolf and use Midna's abilities to just grab him by the head and throw him to the side. Because that makes sense. Ganon is still somehow alive after all that, and Midna warps you away while she takes on Ganon herself with the Fused Shadows. Spoiler alert, she loses. You then get the light arrows. Actually, you don't get the light arrows. Zelda gets the light arrows and fires them at Ganondorf while you fight him on the horse. You control your horse and try to chase after Ganondorf in a similar way to the first King Bublin fight. And then, when Zelda shoots Ganon with a light arrow, you can chase after him and then just do a spin attack or just a regular slash. Do that 3 times over and he is down. And then talks about, oh yeah, can I just kill you now? Okay, cool, thanks. You then have to go through the Final Showdown against Ganondorf. It is very, very simple. You just have to attack him whenever his guard is not up. Sometimes you can press A to get this chance, or if you mash the A button as fast as you can just knock Ganon back, and you'll be able to use that to lower his defense and attack him. After stabbing him in the dick, or stomach, but, I'm just gonna say dick, that sounds funnier, and also more painful to him, he dies. He doesn't even die from the stab, though. He dies from getting his neck snapped by Xant's spirit in his body. Whoa!
What the fuck, Nintendo?
Jesus, Nintendo, you went too far in this game sometimes. So as it turns out, Midna lives, surprisingly, and you get to see her true form as not the little thing that she was before, but as this. Cool. I'm sure it's making someone's pants wet. You then got the credits, and like a few minutes in, for some reason, there is a scene with Midna who's talking about, alright, I gotta go home, bye. And then the portal breaks. Why? I mean, sure, you wanted to make sure no realm would interfere with each other, but why? So with all that done, let's go over the general parts of the game. So let's go over the story here briefly, and if you couldn't tell, this shit is packed. There's so much to the story, and it's all just so good. The characters were also really, really well done. Xant is one of the craziest yet coolest villains ever. Midna shows some great character development from being an asshole to actually caring about the light world. Link and Zelda are pretty cool for being a silent protagonist and barely on screen. Ganondorf does feel a little bit forced in here though, but he's still pretty neat in this game. The exploration is plentiful, like how it is in every Zelda game. One thing this game does lack is minigames. There is fuck all for minigames in this game. I mean, there's a start minigame that you can play twice, fight by foul, do the cats in the hidden village count. Also, for some reason, it takes 5 heart pieces for a heart container, not 4. What the fuck, Nintendo? There's also the golden bugs, which are spewed fucking everywhere. You do get money for collecting them. Neat. There's the pose, another little collectible, getting you infinite money if you get them all. Pretty fucking useless. One thing this game has that shines above the rest is horseback riding. Actually, I don't give 2 shits about this. If you're fighting on a moving target while moving, is it really that different compared to not being on horse? One thing this game actually does have that makes it shine is the combat. You got all of your basic skills, sure, but howling at certain stones summon a golden wolf on the map. By finding it, you can learn skills from Mr. Hero of Time here. This is so cool and makes this some of the greatest combat in the series. One final thing I want to mention is the Cave of Ordeals, a 50-floor gauntlet of enemies. This is basically the same one as in the Wind Waker, so I won't talk much about it, but, it's cool that it's here. You can also skip basically everything on the Wii 1.0 version on North America copies, which is just strange and also kind of funny.
Overall, this is the best in the series so far, I'd say. You might be saying, oh, Poke, every game has been the best so far. Well, here's the thing. I played this game first. Because of that, it was always at the top, so fuck you, random commenter. I won't pretend this game doesn't have flaws. There are 2 little mini-games, the posts don't feel worth collecting, the tutorial is way too long, but I feel like the positives are just good enough to make it better than the rest. Now, if we want to talk about flaws, we could talk about Skyward Sword, and oh boy, I love controversy!